This is No One from Nowhere, and you are, and I am a spirit of God. Today I want to talk to you about the Anunnaki Ninurta, divine black bird, chariot of the Anunnaki gods. First a joke. What do you call a wizard who flies around in a spaceship? A flying sorcerer. Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was formless and empty, and darkness covered the deep waters, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the surface of the waters. Have you ever wondered what the gods hover over the surface of the waters and the earth and also the planetary systems? Today's video shares a section of several texts about Ninurta's divine black bird. According to ancient texts, some 450,000 years ago, the Anunnaki Nephilim came to Earth specifically to mine gold due to their home planet or arc Nibiru begins to experiencing a deterioration of its atmosphere. After Alulu, the prior king of Nibiru, escapes and journeys from Nibiru to Earth, King Anu authorizes his son Ea or Enki to travel to Earth with a group of 50 Nephilim to the seventh planet, Earth. Hence the name Anunnaki, those who from heaven to earth came down. The Anunnaki Nephilim started to mine the gold in the Absu or South Africa, where interestingly enough, gold to this day is still mined in this region. It was mined in South Africa, shipped to Sumer in the Fertile Crescent, or present-day Iraq. From there, it went to a smelting plant in the Mount Sinai region. From here, texts point out that the Anunnaki used the moon and Mars as a planetary way station to further the smelting process and as a pre-stop before approaching Nibiru or other planetary systems. Ninurta is Nimrod, Yahweh, Hercules, and he is also known for the planet Saturn. He is the son of Enlil and Ninhursag or Ninmah, and he had a flying machine called the Divine Black Bird, or Imdug. He is known to roam the skies of Earth in his divine chariot of fire. Exodus 24:10. Then they saw the god Ninurta of Israel. Under his feet there seemed like a pavement made of lapis lazuli, as clear as the sky itself. The blackbird color, black, may be the same as the modern-day military fighter as the F-35. Ninurta is a dualistic god. He is a warrior and a farmer. After the flood, Ninurta, in several texts, one being the Ansu bird, when it steals the tablets of destiny from his father Enlil. Ninurta made continuous efforts in the mountains where water damage caused by the Great Flood was rampant. Ninurta rushed from mountain range to mountain range in his divine blackbird, carrying out his work, using his airship or in his winged bird. In the Neo-Assyrian period, Ninurta's symbol is the perched bird. In the 9th century BC, the winged disc is the official art. Zechariah Sitchin tells us that his winged bird on a mountain summit was smashed and all the pinions crashed down to earth. He was rescued and survived the crash. Sometime around 2200 BC, a later king, Gudea, built a ziggurat for Ninurta. This king struggled to follow the original design. He wrote that when Ninurta instructed him to rebuild the sacred precinct, so a demigod gave the king the architectural plans, drawn on a stone tablet relief, and a goddess who traveled between heaven and earth in her chamber showed him a celestial map and instructed him on the astronomical alignments of this structure. She told him that this new structure, quote, had to provide appropriate places for Ninurta's weapons, for his great aircraft, even for his favorite guitar. Later, Ninurta wrote, quote, the dream was fulfilled like a bright mass. It stands a radiant brightness of its facing covers everything like a mountain which glows. It joyously rises. What is also significant to note is that this special enclosure or facilities for housing the divine blackbird were built into the structure. Also maintained was that there was storage for Ninurta's awesome weapons on these grounds. These were all in cuneiform tablets. In order to receive mention in text, the divine blackbird must have been very large. The wingspan was extremely wide. The original design of a ziggurat had to be seriously modified, but King Judea finally solved the problem and Ninurta was pleased. It is very important to mention that when the Anunnaki Nephilim were forced to retreat the earth due to the Great Flood, they used rocket-propelled ships described as chariots of the gods. I leave you with biblical proof of a potential divine blackbird. Ezekiel 1:13-14. The living beings look like bright coals of fire or brilliant torches, and lightning seemed to flash back and forth among them. And the living beings darted to and fro like flashes of lightning. I love you so much, and so do the gods, and you have their DNA, and you're very special to them and unique. I love you so much, and so do the gods, because you are, and I am, a spirit of God.